Hey everybody, Maria here at the Scranton Cultural Center. We're live downstairs in the Raymond Hood room. I'm so excited tonight because we've got a bunch of great poets in the room. And Jacquelyn Purdy, our host, she's going to be bringing them all on. But before we get started, just want to make a couple of quick announcements. This program is brought to you in part by the I was going to say the Scranton Area Foundation, which they do help us a lot, but it's the Overlook Estate Foundation, specifically partially funds Underground Microphone. We're so thrilled to have that kind of support, and if you too are inclined to support this program, we'd greatly appreciate that too. So Jacquelyn Purdy.
Hi.
Jacquelyn.
How are you doing?
I'm thrilled. This is so awesome because we all know that April is the month.
National Poetry
Month, yep. So Jacquelyn's got a whole lot of great poets lined up for us tonight. And without further ado, we're going to turn it on over to Jackie.
Oh, well, thank you. Welcome to Poets Live. Thank you all for streaming in and watching us. It is National Poetry Month, so Maria always has us for National Poetry Month, and we're always super excited to come here. The poets are always excited. They're always loud and unruly and rowdy. Are you guys going to get ruly? Yay, poets, hello. Yeah. Hey, they're not really. They're just waving over there. We have them all like spread out back there. But anywho, I'll start you off with a poem to get you an idea what we do. We actually go around. We do poetry readings before COVID all the time at the Bog, every other month at the Bog. We were scheduled to do a whole bunch of things. It all got canceled last year, and we really haven't been, getting together much. We did some outside events over the summer. Hopefully we'll be doing that again soon. I talked to Bob from the Bog, and he's excited to open back up and have us there again soon. So check us on our Facebook page. Look us Poets Live on Facebook and see what events we have. You can come and share your poetry or just come and listen to some of these poets. They really,
That's exciting to hear that the Bog is going to be opening back up.
Yeah. Soon, hopefully.
Soon.
He didn't say when. He didn't say
I'm
when.
sorry. Yeah, right.
But, hopefully
But
soon,
you have a book out.
We do. We have two. We have our second anthology is out right now. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Poets Live and Poets from Around the World, the Year of the Golden Rat, and it was all poets from all around the world, plus everybody in this room. I think almost everybody that's reading tonight is in it. So you can go on Amazon and get that. You can get it from us at any of our live events. We still have tons of copies.
And you have a Facebook page?
And we have a Facebook page and an Instagram, Poets Live.
How do we find it?
It's Poets Live. Just put in
Poets Live.
You'll see this. This is our thing here at Poets Live. This was our first anthology. Our second one is out now, and by the end of the year, we'll have our third out. We're going to do an annual thing for that. And the first poem I was going to share is from our first anthology. So, yeah, lots of fun. We're so excited. And don't forget, the Scranton Cultural Center has done a lot for us over the years, letting us come and do our thing, take over these open mics. So go on to scc.org and donate money for them. They haven't been able to do their thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely check them out. All right, so I'll read you a quick poem, and then I'll start bringing you up the poets. This is called The Poets. All these poets finding the courage to express themselves through words, bearing their souls to whoever will listen, showing their will to survive with their words. They speak of pets, love, and pain. They reflect the world around them. All these poets doing their thing, their art, putting it out there for everyone to see, for anyone to judge. Yet they are set free, these poets and their poetry. All right, a little closer. All right, so that is pretty much what we do, all these poets. That's what that is about. And so we will, without any further ado, we'll get this thing started. We'll start with Ken, one of my favorite poets. I'm going to say that about every single one of them because they're all so great. It's Ken Ebersole, ladies and gentlemen, here to share some poetry with you. Poets Live.
Hello. This first one is called Cries from the Abyss. The cries heard from the abyss of this world. Cries for freedom, cries for mercy, cries for justice, cries for forgiveness. Millions crying into the night, crying to the sky, heard in all their entirety by the moon and stars alone. I listened at first out of curiosity, then they became maddening. I wanted them to stop, to cease for all time. But after a while, they sort of go away, blending into the surroundings. Always there to be picked out if you listen hard enough. The cries from the abyss. Thank you. Deja vu. My head aches when I wake from thinking. Dreams so real it's like I was there. Friends long gone. Pasts hidden unfold before my very eyes. Reminiscent of my former life but not exact. Taking the best parts and adding to it. Remembering the past a different way. My friends who know not of each other now know each other more than me. Not knowing in reality I'm the only thing they have in common. Place is not of this reality, but I know from routine in my mind. I've been here before, but my consciousness can't remember. The longer I am awake, the more it fades. This realism, this vision, this feeling, fading into the depths of my mind, soaked in its core, so that when something in reality reminds me of it, it feels like deja vu. Thank you. The mold of the bad. You know what's wrong, but do you know how to fix it? Your heart, your soul. Do you know how to make them well again? Do you have the strength? The strength to do what must be done. Cut it out. Look at it. Divide away the bad from it. The bad that infects like mold to a fruit. Cut it away before you can, before the whole thing turns bad. Each second lost, it grows and turns more. So much that it infects everything introduced, blocking vision from anything but negative. Discard it. So all that's left is good. All that's left is unspoiled. All that's left is you. Thank you. Window. I can show you the world, just look at me. No, I meant through me. My cracks will and can never be mended. You have to see past them to the outside and beyond. If you leave the light on, you can't see out. You can only see yourself, as I reflect your weakness of needing that light. But as you turn it off, it's as if your eyes have been opened, and now you can see for miles onto the world. I can use the sun's light to light up the room. I can be your escape. Escape from the silence. Escape from the pain. Escape to the world, the real world outside of these walls. These walls you've been fooled into thinking are security. It's a big world out there to be seen. And if you just give yourself the opportunity, I can open and let the world in, let the air in, so you can breathe again. Thank you. The trees. The trees hear you. They hear your cries in the wind. They see your tears and they cry with you. But few see it, or possibly even know it. The trees hear you laugh. They see you play. They feel your happiness and it makes them laugh. But few hear it, or possibly even know it. They see you in the rain, soaking in its downfall, and offer you the best cover they can give, but few recognize it, or possibly even know it. They see the sun shining down. They feel its heat. They again try to shield you under their shade. They soak up the sun's rays, but few enjoy it, or possibly even know it. They see the sky. They see the smoke rising into it. They smell it, and they try to fix it. They try to make it better, breathable, making the air we need to live, but few appreciate it, or possibly even know it. Thank you. This one will be my final one. This one's called Dream Number 5. So I said to her, as I laid there, my head resting on her lap, looking into the sky, it's like the world keeps telling you to find someone, you have to clean yourself up and dress real nice. Wear a nice suit and tie and straighten up and fly right, and basically be someone else. Someone that you're not. As I said those words, I looked up to the dark blue crowds and felt hate. Hate towards everyone that told me to be ashamed of who I was. I felt defiance. I will never do that, I said. Never do what I'm told or be who I'm told. I'll never not be me, never again. And what about you, I asked. Who would you have me be? What's acceptable to you? But I was getting too deep. I could feel it. Like when you're walking away from the shallow and your head slips underwater as you walk out. I needed to change the subject before I lost her attention. Change the mood. Don't keep them thinking because that's when you lose them. And then I felt her caress my head, and that's when I knew I'd never lose her. Thank you.
All right, everyone, give it up for Ken. Ooh, going the other direction. There's no way out of there. All right, give it up to Ken again. Yay. Thank you all for streaming on in to watch Poets Live and us doing our thing. We do it usually pretty regularly, so as soon as the world opens back up, we can do it again. We're going to be right back at it. And we're always looking for new poets, familiar faces as well as new ones. So feel free to come and share your poetry with us. And look out for when we have our next anthology. We'll be accepting this summer for our next anthology submissions. So you'll be able to send it in and get published, be a published poet. Usually get a free book, So we'll see. And you can get our last one on Amazon right now. It's on sale. So you can do that. Well, I guess I'll read a quick poem while we get set up here. This is called Sunday Afternoon. Sitting here with coffee stains on my white t-shirt, my jeans are worn and torn, flowered flip-flops, wishing you were here to make my dreams come true. Just a quiet Sunday afternoon thinking of you. I went to a flea market and looked at old records, some Janis and Lennon. I wished you could go to tell me your favorites. It's just a quiet Sunday afternoon thinking of you. Later I went to the park and found a park bench. I looked up at the heavens and wished you were there to see God's creation. Just a quiet Sunday afternoon thinking of you. All right, that was Sunday afternoon. It's going to actually be in my book of poetry. Liz is helping me out with it. She did some editing to it, so that'll be out soon. I'm still working on it. But we're going to move along right now and introduce Monica. She's here to share her poetry with us. She's an artist as well and a painter. See her all around Scranton all the time.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Don't forget to speak close to me. Okay. I'm just going to move this. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. So thank you for making a place for poetry and giving me the opportunity to wear clothes for the first time. I mean, I've been wearing clothes, but just not nice ones. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to read poetry. Each and every one of us changes the world just by being in it, breathing oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide, eating, pooping, moving, shifting air, moving molecules, growing, decaying. So if the question is, how can I change the world? The answer is plainly, you already do. Where you choose to go from there is up to you. All the old beatnik poets were always describing themselves in a city somewhere, like LA, Station 14, 1959. I mean, I guess it was cool back then, but some of the Hall of Famers, well, I think they deserve less fame. To be perfectly honest, I've learned nothing from your drunken afternoons, shouting about bullfights and the Yankees. To be frank, sir, I really don't give a darn of your moral decay and how you romanticized it for the rest of humanity. A great poet, not a beatnik, once wrote, Jack Kerouac, I think of your mother. That's great poetry. I think of her too. Thank you. I wrote a lot of these when I had time to think about the world and watch the birds. It seemed impossible to truly convey the way I felt when I saw gray skies hold back a desperate sun, trying so hard to peek out over these tired, lovely, old valley citizens. So I spoke to my dad about where the family came from in Lebanon, how his grandmother, he said, would create food out of nowhere, kind of like Jesus. The neighborhood would come, and they all left happy and full. And so there's a magic here in this valley, if you look. All of our bloodlines collectively have these legends, these magical moments, and I felt it in the skies. They are shouting, use them now. I had an aunt who was from Mercury, but only lived there for a certain time when it was in its retrograde phase. Her daughter loves to read about far back mythological lore, and of course, it feels a lot like going home. We all just want to go home, wherever that is. I'm not excluded. I just don't think I'm from Mercury. Sometimes I think I'm from the land of the jaybirds, and that's why the sparrows come in families to sit upon my porch. The moon, though, it holds a clue, so I sit down and watch it, hoping for at least a whisper. Nothing but a wink. I'm tired of those winks in a way that I'd shamefully miss them if they were gone. The moon knows, though, I'm sure of that. Me? Well, I know nothing. The jaybirds are taunting me. They come in my sleep. I want to know their wishes, understand their language, crack open their hearts, and when I fail, I feel forlorn, like I just let down the sun. It's tough to let down the sun, even if the sun doesn't care. It feigns ignorance, but you know the vital importance deep down. The best thing I can do is ignore the jaybirds for a while, so I seem to think until they stop singing and it doesn't torment me, it flat out wrecks me. I don't think I come from Mercury, but I imagine where I do come from, it's unrefined and wild. Maybe not as close to the sun, so we are relying very much on our moons to clear away the darkness. Right now, I pray to my own moon, here, hoping it can help me do the same. Thank you. I'm lost again, writing messages in the sand, lighting them up for God. He didn't come. He said to swim. I said, I'm too tired. He said, if you drown, that's how you fly. So now I'm trying to fly, but all the fishes are here telling me their secrets, not worried about how long I have to hold my breath. I keep listening to them instead of God, and wondering why I drown when the goal is to fly. One more for you. What am I doing? I used to ask the moon, but the moon stopped answering because I asked every day. She says by now I should know the answer will always be different. Therefore, I should expect the same and stop asking. It's just like the moon to answer with something that makes you more confused. It's just like her to give an outline, and it's just like me to make a mess out of it. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Give it up for Monica, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Keep sharing. You got to check her art around Scranton. She's a local artist as well as a poet. And she has been published with us before. I'm kind of reading poetry to waste time as we change over the mics here. So I guess I'll read another quick one. These will all be in my book of poetry. Soon it'll be out. It's called Smart. If you were so smart, then use creativity to destroy me, not gossip and immaturity. I have the perfect solution for your demise. I'll let you hang yourself. If you were so smart, why this smear campaign? Why not attack me with intelligence and art? If you were so smart, why the grumpiness? Why not laugh and enjoy as you seek your unfounded revenge? If you were so smart and I so evil, you wouldn't try to kill me. You would let me kill myself. If you were so smart, you would learn from this. It's nothing but another phase. If you were so smart, you wouldn't care what I do. You wouldn't even remember my name. All right, we're going to move along now. We have Liz, who's helping me out with my book of poetry. How about that? Yeah. Thank you so much. Give it up to Liz, guys.
Pulling off my scarf, I want to say goodbye to them. Pulling off my scarf, letting it drape like a resignation across the back of a chair. The sun is setting, the room is dim, almost orange, and it's sometimes lonely.
It's all right. And we're good. Keep going.
Let me start that again because that shocked me. Pulling off my scarf, letting it drape like a resignation across the back of a chair. The sun is setting, the room is dim and almost orange, and it's sometimes lonely in its loss of day. I think of you now, and then we are walking with our arms around each other, always through the Boston Common, the air drizzled with late winter, melts the cobbles wet. The sounds of our steps go on forever. I turn to hang my coat. Night replaces you again. How do I wear this? The storm swept through with wind enough to tear the trees out by their roots, whip the rain in sideways, streaks of darkness. Enough, enough, enough. Sirens and engines roar to underscore by thunder some emergency. The wailing dives and sinks and sets by decibels in the miles of impossible. In those jewels of distance from you, have I been set? In gold of eventide, a masterpiece of sorrow. Am I to live another day without you? Hunting poems. They are wild things. Sometimes I swear I need a shotgun, but is not to hurt the words. I hack them out of weeds, break the ice, drag them out, throw rocks at them in trees, turn around 3 times fast and collapse. Sometimes I catch one, still spinning dizzy, floating circle words in breeze. I command nothing. The poems always have their say. I command nothing, not love, not time, nor hate, nor sun, but the moonrise, maybe, in dreamlight. I could be anyone, scuffing back to where you lay in the sand, on your back on a blanket, eyes closed with sleep far behind, not looking for me. I look out to the sky fading white, agitation of breeze. I sense it, change coming. Settle beside you, watching the afternoon leave the shore, lost in my thoughts. I don't notice, but feel the warmth of you. Curl in against me, my legs now exposed, soft, with your arm thrown round behind. Reach as if to ask for something you cannot. Tossing a glance with my hair's nonchalance, checking our camouflage among beachgoers. We could be anyone, just anyone, right? Turn from the world, from its judgment, leaning close, stroking silver of hair with calm of my fingers, feel your arm brush my chest. Noting the scent of you, like caramel to melt in the closing of distance, my mouth to your temple, unendurable, moment surrendered to this kiss. How am I doing with time?
Good. Can I have one more? Can I read one more? Okay. Yeah.
Raking under forsythia. Who knows what stops the heart of a song? I take note. A tiny thud, robin in the wheel well of my car. The limp head of a cat's prey, sigh of wings, defrocked by power lines, baby starlings, fledgling flight, falling short of a pond's edge. The slate morsel unearthed by the tines of my rake, and the world is vacant for a moment. Grief sucks a womb of air, but how it lives I cannot say. Upended creature of us, stops the throbs that herald life.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Give it up for Liz, ladies and gentlemen. School teacher, long-time school teacher there. Yeah, are we gonna get ready? We're gonna move on? Yeah. We're gonna move on really quickly here. Keep it going, make sure we get enough time for everybody that showed up. I saw Joe snuck in. I'm just gonna call you up, Joe. After, we'll have Maria talk after this next poet. She's been very active in the Black Lives Matter movement recently. I saw her out there protesting with everybody. Yeah, now that we started the trial over there, hopefully it turns, he was wrong. All right. So here we go. We have Sam Blankenship, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Sam, guys. Yay. Still working. We're changing mics out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
What do you do when you feel broken? What happens when you feel like damaged goods? Does the world see it? I swear they do, because I can feel their stares. They are boring holes into me. It burns all over. Make it stop, please. I don't want to hurt anymore. Take it all away. I'm screaming now, please, someone help me. But no one does, because no one cares. I'm saying too much. I'm being too loud. They have to silence me is all I can think now. As I continue to scream, they continue to stare. They come up behind me. One restrains me and the other bludgeons me. My blood is running like waterfalls down the drains. They leave me for dead. With my last breath, I whisper a thank you. Now that the pain is gone and peace is everlasting, I learned a permanent lesson in silence that day. Right. From the moment I was born, I was provided 4 lines that created a box of someone else's design. I was taught to manage a set of codes for the various social situations I'd be put in throughout life. I had to learn to walk, talk, and act differently to fit in. I was given an acceptable name. I was told I had to manipulate my hair to be someone else's definition of professional. All to add checks to the 4 lines that created the prison I was given at birth, that told me who I was allowed to be and when. That who I am in the comfort of my own home is not acceptable to the rest of society. You can have type 2 hair, that's cool. Anything stronger than 3, and that's not professional. So I was told to burn it straight with chemicals and hot tools. Have you ever considered going blonde? I mean, you can even become a licensed hairdresser or barber these days without ever touching a single strand of black folks' curly, coily, or kinky hair. Tell me that isn't wild, sis. Don't pick a name for your child that's too different. You'll only be setting them up to be teased, bullied, and no one will ever pronounce it right, so they'll just end up with a nickname anyway. I have to speak properly so I sound educated and can be understood. Well, you know what? I done about had it with your itty-bitty pre-designed prison-style box. It is not big enough, and I'm not sorry. That's your problem, not mine, and I know I'm not angry, but I am fed up. So let me break it down for you. It is not my job to educate you on how to be a decent human being and show respect to others. So yes, my hair is naturally curly. It has been since 2008, and I ain't going back. I've broken more than my fair share of combs and hair ties too, so what? Yes, I might be rocking a fro or some braids and maybe even a wig, but homegirl, this ain't a zoo, so keep your hands about my hair. I'm not damaging my hair nor distorting my self-image to conform to your standards. I'm doing me. Learn to say my name correctly or don't speak to me straight up. If you didn't understand what I said, then ask for clarification. Don't just call me ghetto and then sit there confused. I am no longer shrinking myself for anyone else's comfort or standards because mine are the only ones that matter. The only box I need to be concerned with from here on out is the one I'm building for myself. What you don't like is not my problem, it's yours, because I am who I am and I said what I said. And this is going to be my last one. I can't say Black Lives Matter, but you can say give me liberty or give me death. I can't say Black Power, but you can holler don't tread on me. Tell me what the difference is, how their meanings hold a difference. How all day long we love, care, sad, react, smash that retweet, gotta hit the hashtag so I'm trending. I only have 280 characters, but that will never be enough, and they are why. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Eric Garner, Philando Castile, Samuel DuBose, Sandra Bland, that's 134, Walter Scott, Terrence Crutcher, Freddie Gray, Alton Sterling, Jamar Clark, Jeremy McDowell, William Chapman II, Eric Harris, Akai Gurley, Michael Brown, 268, Keith Scott, Jonathan Farrell, Stephon Clark, Sean Bell, Ayanna Jones, John Crawford, Botham Jean, Tatiana Jefferson, Laquan McDonald, Paul O'Neill. Now I'm at 401. That's 401 total letters and spaces just for their names. That's 30 lives lost, but nothing close to a complete list. It has been roughly a minute and a half since I started this. If during the persecution of these men, women, and children, the murderers had paused to think for just a second at the minute and a half mark of their encounters, would this fatality list even exist?
All right, give it up for Sam Blankenship, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to turn it back over to Maria.
Not really. We're going to turn it back over to the two of us. Jackie, this is great.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Sam's great. We loved her.
So talk a little bit more about Poets Live and how folks can get involved.
You can just come to our live events, basically,
Which
and come
are
and read.
usually at the
The
Bog.
Bog. They're at the Bog every
Sometimes
other month.
places.
Yeah. We had scheduled for Carl Hall in Wilkes-Barre, too. We are trying to break it down into
That's
there.
a great space
But,
down
yeah,
there. Yeah.
So hopefully
it's
we'll
perfect for something like this.
maybe do every other month between the Bog and there.
Yeah.
Coming soon, hopefully. As soon as they open up, we will be maybe down by the river, maybe again. You get
There's
the
a great
thumbs
space
up,
down
maybe.
there too. There's
Yeah, we were
some-
there last summer.
Yeah.
So it was really pretty down there. We'll do it in June where we doesn't get dark on us, maybe. So we'll be doing
I'll
that
tell you
soon
what,
as
if
well.
anybody out there, if you're writing, get involved, even if you just want to come out and watch. It's a great group. You've got a lot of power
Yeah,
in some
it
of these.
inspires you. It just does-
Inspiration, there you go.
You know, it
Yeah,
definitely
very
inspires
moving.
you to write more. And I find, I love seeing them develop when they first come and start reading, and they're all scared, and then as their voice grows and they get stronger, become stronger readers, and their poetry even gets better. Just, they just reflect, the rest of the group.
So
the
before
whole,
we bring
everyone's
out our
grown.
next poet, I know that there are a couple that we had on the post that weren't able to make it. So
Yeah.
maybe
Paige Pliss, we love you, girl. We hope you feel better.
feel better, Paige.
Feel better, Paige. And then you had John and Abby DeSantis didn't want to come. They were he has asthma. And so with this coronavirus,
Just taking some precautions.
they're
Yeah,
taking extra precautions.
we'll have to catch you
there.
next time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to swap out the mic for our next
You
poet,
okay?
and then you're going to
I
read
can
for us
a
a little bit.
Yeah, I can read you a quick poem while we're waiting for our next poet. This is called Child's Voice. The next one for you, always seconds away. Rip, rip. It must be gruesome on the inside as my heart is torn in two and bleeds. Rip, rip. I knew I would end up with heart problems. Why do I do that to myself? Rip, rip. My heart when I saw you with her. Doesn't matter. You never loved this colorful mind. Surely, I'm just a nuisance to you. Rip, rip. It must be grotesque on the inside because it hurts like hell. Rip, rip. All right, I'm going to bring up your next poet. Don't forget to get our anthology on Amazon right now, and also go to scc.org and donate to the Scranton Cultural Center, who supports all this arts. Usually this is music every Tuesday, but we are taking it over for National Poetry Month. All right, whenever you're ready, please welcome Armand. Wait. As a precaution, we're switching out all the mics in between. All right, you ready?
Hello, how's everybody? Good to see everybody getting back together after many months of quarantine life. I'd like to say hi to the millions of people watching at home. I guess I assembled a bunch of things that I wrote in 2021 because I like to keep it fresh. And also, I also spent a tremendous amount of time unclothed because I was just in a really tumultuous, intense relationship, and this is what a lot of it ended very badly, and this is where a lot of this very sad stuff is coming from. But and I also threw one in that's not from 2021 to make it slightly less sad. So here we go. This one's called Paradox of Choice. Books, movies, social media, forums, video games, poems, music, light shows, articles, TV shows, Shakespeare, Hemingway, Lovecraft, King, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, Pandora, comedy, drama, horror, action, romance, thriller, tutorials, platformers, RPGs, MMOs, MOBAs, shooters, puzzlers, adventures, racers, critical darlings, cringe fests, flops and hidden gems, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney, originals, remakes, reimaginings, reboots, reality, cooking, sports, culture, nature, trash, our news and their news. What you're about to see may be disturbing. Facebook, Snap, YouTube, TikTok, cats, dogs, let's play, wins, fails, abrupt chaos, watching people die inside, all gas, no brakes. So much to do, so much for me. I'm so lucky, I'm so free. Let's see. And then I actually tried my hand at a genuine Shakespearean format love sonnet, which the person it was written for couldn't hear it because of the distance between us. So I guess I'll share it because I actually thought it was written well, even though it was unappreciated. The thought of her visage... Visage? Did you say that? I don't know how to pronounce the words I'm writing. All right, the thought of her visage burns in my mind, with perpetual fire, searing and bright. I cannot resist, for surely I'd find, unbidden my heart doth follow her light. Blood-roiling passion when I hear her voice. Champions and kings know no such glory. Such joy in hot moments, spoiling for choice. Each lithe move and touch writes a new story. I sense her aroma, perfect and clean, and taste her sweet love with each morning kiss. Waking together, this beautiful dream. Eyes closed, my hands on her breasts and her hips. Pure comfort in silence, we do behold. Deeper than wisdom, more precious than gold. I got a thanks and then threw it over to the side for that one. I was like, whoa, this is not working. This one's called Stick the Landing. Being with you, so real, so pure, cruel and majestic, I had to destroy it. In my head, arch position, limber and light, spin thoughts gracefully, perfect aerial maneuvers, petty pirouettes, hateful handsprings. I am the performer, I am the judge, you are the jury, and the execution. So delicate, nuanced, precise. I reverse the sequence, half in, half out, full in, I back out. Twisted saltos, sinuous and sad, vicious, virulent virtuosity. 10 out of 10, perform with precision. We just mount. This is it. This one's very short. I woke up with a stomach ache and a pile of regret on my chest. I thought about nothing as I lay in pain in bed. I know I'm still alive, but I'm living like I'm dead, wasting my precious body, wasting my precious head. This one, I'm not sure what was going on here, but maybe just lighten the mood a little bit. This one's called Why Does Goose? Why does goose? To preen, to honk, to waddle, to wade, to swim, to flap, to gander, to fly. To goose is to perpetuate goose. This is why goose does goose. This is, I don't know. You're welcome. This is another short one, Mired. This is what trees look like when I'm sad. The trees, windblown, tendrils, reach toward empty space, pining for escape. They grow tired and ever long for a salubrious world. Let's see. This one's, I want to say it's untitled, but it wasn't titled in the first place, so. It says, the bottles line the shelves, water, teas, sports drinks, soda, juice, receptacles designed for a special use, then discarded. Plastic plates, forks, spoons, knives, cups, napkins, pernicious convenience, cans and tubs and sprays, cleaning homes, staining the earth. The other side of the store, salmon, trout, mahi-mahi, squid, tuna, calamari, designed by nature, destroyed by expediency. Ocean islands grow each day like tumors in the water. Monuments to myopia, charnel remnants of commercial folly, mocking humanity, as those who consume flit about uncaring or unaware, gluttonous and insatiable, throwing it all away. Most of these are untitled, I guess, so this one is untitled. In the woods, alone again, wandering feet and wandering mind. Thoughts of you punctuated by moments of pure stillness. The trees look down on me and I scan my surroundings, but I know you're not with me. I sit on the last solid spot of a decaying tree and close my eyes. The shrill cries of wild birds bounce around the forest like the chatter in my skull, unceasing, melding into one incessant perception. Moments of release beyond this layered veil grant brief respite as I become aware and catch my breath before sinking back beneath waves of invisible sound crashing inside me. I open my eyes and see that I am indeed in the woods, alone, again. All right, so more sad stuff. Precisely how many moments between madness and control? How much effort needed to keep this delicate mind in tune? This complex instrument with memories imprinted as indelible time signatures, mounting pain and neglect, conducting haywire brain cells, a neurotic symphony directing attention inward, brief repose granted by intermittent rest for reality. The tempo increases, reaches an unbearable crescendo, until the final movement, the last string snaps into a deafening chord, and her music fades into the void. All right, and I say, do you have time for two more? Yeah. I have two more. One is in a silly tongue twister that I'll end with so that you guys don't think I'm like the saddest person, but I don't know. This one's called Satyriasis. How many people does it take to match the pain? How many times must I lie in bed next to a stranger with no name? Sometimes I don't even finish. They think there's something wrong with them. I tell them it's not them, it's me. They never believe me. I do not know if there could ever be enough women, enough time to make it all go away. I turn my back. I do not want to look at this person, this entire human being with an entire human life that I know nothing about, that I don't want to know anything about. To think that she has lived a singular human experience, yet she could be anyone. I turn again. She's fallen asleep. I know I won't. I sit up and fish an old joint from the amber glass ashtray, open the drawer, furtively fumbling for a light. I take a few hits and stare ahead at a stream of moonlight on the other side of the room. I wonder where she is. I wonder if she sees the moonlight too. Okay. And now here's one that I wrote in a year when I wasn't really sad. That wasn't this year. So I'm going to see if I can say this without fumbling. It's a tongue twister. Here we go. Jojo knows Momo's yo-yo so-so. Momo knows Jojo's yo-yo so-so. Jojo so-so yo-yo throws go slow. Momo's so-so yo-yo throws go slow. Jojo's solo so-so yo-yo throws go so low. Momo's solo so-so yo-yo throws go so low. Jojo's solo yo-yo throws go to Momo's low toes. Momo's solo yo-yo throws go to Jojo's low toes. Jojo knows Momo's throws blow. Momo knows Jojo's throws blow. Jojo's so-so yo-yo glows though. Momo's so-so yo-yo knows no glow. Momo's yo-yo throws blows to Jojo's dome so. Jojo's yo-yos no more throws. Momo shows no remorse for Jojo's death throws. Now Momo tiptoes and goes home solo. Good night, world.
All right, give it up for Armand, guys. Yay. Woohoo. He's the comedian of our group. But that's fine. You need a comedian to keep going, right? So don't forget, we want to thank Maria and the Scranton Cultural Center for having us and with this takeover. Oh, I didn't really. I was choking on water. That's why I was coughing. Anyway, we have, so go on to scc.org and donate to them. They have been able to do musicals or plays over the last year for obvious reasons, so they can really use your help. So get online and donate now if you can. And we thank them so much for letting us come and take over a music venue. Really, it's great. But so I'll read you a quick one while we set up our next poet. This is called New Guy. I'm so self-conscious. My mind spins. I'm nervous. If I don't hear from you in 5 minutes, I think you're rejecting me. My stuff is getting all messed up. I'm the new guy in a new world who is trying to get it all together. Always a smile, though, because of you. Then 5 minutes goes by, and I'm nervous, self-conscious, feeling the heartbreak, bound to be heartbroken. Then you're there. All right, we're going to move on. Are you guys ready? You ready, Bernie?
Yep.
We're bringing in Bernie McGurl. He's going to be our next poet coming up here. He's in charge of the Lackawanna River
Conservation Association. How about
yeah,
that?
that's a mouthful.
As he gathers
And
up
he
his
helps
stuff.
us, he helps us along with the Poetry by the River at Sweeney Park, right? Yeah, we'll be doing that again soon.
Good evening,
All right,
everyone.
give it up for Bernie, guys.
I'm going to read a slightly longer narrative poem, and I'll finish with a poem for tomorrow and the next day. This is entitled Displaced Persons, and I think Maria likes this poem. This really probably isn't a poem, it's a story, even though it's being written by a pen that usually writes poems, or for the sake of beings in this world, rather is used by a person who usually writes poems when he's free to usually write poems. But this person decided to write this, whatever it is, story, poem, in a spiral-bound steno tablet so that the pages would stay where they were, regardless of that the tablet would become displaced. But by then it had been replaced at least 12 times, and so I should probably apologize for any of you who were expecting a poem. Now, we'll call this a poem anyway. It just may be a bit longer than my usual poems, and I'm writing it because I realized, not that I had forgotten or anything, but you see, I'm rereading Trout Fishing in America, and I remembered that the author used to enjoy drinking wine with a colleague and myself in the oldest licensed establishment in the state of California. He referred to us as artists from New Orleans who were contemplating opening a flea circus or committing themselves to a mental hospital for the winter. Now, since it is unlikely that the author of Trout Fishing in America would update you on our decision, I've decided to do so myself to set the record straight, so to speak. Not that you can believe me, and I don't care if you do, but that's not the point. If there is a point, it is we are all the authors of our own destiny. Some of us are better at fiction than others, and sometimes fiction can yield its own truth, and truth can be a passion that only reveals itself through its implications. The author of Trout Fishing in America speculated that we would get our fleas from a cat, a white alley cat. In our conversations on the subject, it was brought up that fleas from Siamese cats would be more intelligent. In actuality, we got our fleas from the rugs and furniture in the Colonial Inn on Route 28 in Ithaca, New York, a long way from San Francisco. We had come east to commit ourselves to a mental hospital because we were afraid that the mental hospitals on the West Coast were dangerous places. Many of them that we were familiar with were surrounded by trees, really big trees. Now, eucalyptus and redwood in the Bay Area. Further north, there were Douglas firs, white cedar, and Sitka spruce around Puget Sound. And in the islands of the Inside Passage, the Queen Charlottes. Hence our trip to the Finger Lakes region, where we would be able to accomplish two objectives, three actually. As you may recall, we used to drink with the author of Trout Fishing in America. He had a fondness for port wine. He later wrote that he used it once to kill a trout. While not at all germane to our third objective, which did concern itself with wine, we tended to prefer a good varietal. The Finger Lakes region, you know, is wine country, although our tastes run to our good Sonoma Cabernet or Syrah. Lake country reds will do in a pinch, especially if one adapts to appreciate their sweetness. At any rate, after collecting all of the fleas from the Colonial Inn on Route 28 in Ithaca, New York, we voluntarily committed ourselves to an out-of-the-way institution in Yates County, New York. It was high on a windswept ridge with no large trees, and we were able to concentrate on our two main objectives in a warm and secure facility, one with a high probability of having deep snow cover, which is absolutely essential in the training and establishment of a flea circus. In order to obtain the security we needed at the Yates County facility, we committed ourselves to the care of each other, presenting our board-certified credentials as psychologists to the superintendent during our intake session. I had received my doctorate from Tulane while supporting myself as an artist. My colleague, Dr. Livonia W. Ferracarelli, had studied with Jung in Zurich. She was from Cartagena, Colombia. I called her Wilson, which was the maiden name of her mother, who was from Toronto. We explained our purpose, the purpose of our commitment to the superintendent. He accepted our requests to be separated from the general population and to remain under our own care in one of the staff cottages. We began our therapeutic treatment regime. As soon as sufficient snow cover was available, we began the arduous and repetitive work of training the flea circus. I had some early experience with flea circuses, having studied with Dixon Baxter, a noted unicyclist and forester. He had in turn worked with Gifford Pinchot, who, along with being the founder of the U.S. Forest Service, was also for a time the licensed proprietor of the Barnum and Bailey Flea Circus, which had won gold medals at the Paris Exposition of 1896, the St. Louis Fair of 1904, and the Panama Pacific Exposition in San Diego in 1908. For us, the disciplined days of flea circus work were followed by nights of equally disciplined psychological work on ourselves. After a couple months, our interest in flea circuses waned, and the rigors of analysis gave way to a new freedom of snow therapy. This was something that the author of Trout Fishing in America could only surmise. I know he saw it in our eyes. We both had a passion for water in all of its forms, especially snow. We eventually took our flea circus on the road and ended up in Key West. Although the flea circus has not been the financial success that we hoped, some of the fleas have deserted the circus, and much to our chagrin, though not surprise, they've taken up shamelessly with the cats over at Hemingway's house. I started brokering heart pine and cypress logs that I buy from swamp crackers up on the mainland, and I also help out with Livonia's art business. We do sketches and caricatures of tourists and occasionally provide the more needy ones with therapeutic consultations, if they've got the scratch. And I'll wrap it up with these two poems written for April 7th and April 8th, 5 or 6 years ago, actually. Delmar, long, shallow waves, 30 meters apart, break along the shallow beach. A few rides, 20 seconds at best. Lazy flights of pelicans, by twos, by fours, by fives and sevens, like the surfers. Not quite a Fibonacci sequence. On the bluff, a surfliner coasts southbound. Cool sunshine awaits an evening rain. Above the ocean, flat and blue, now and then a longer wave, a longer ride. We swim back out, looking for that wave. And a day later, the ocean's different, a mile or two away. Cardiff Beach, April 8th. A day later, the teal sea, too busy with whitecaps, small, short sets, fall on one another in quick succession. Visitors from Dog Beach sally back and forth. To and from Solana, kites, cameras, broad-brimmed hats, an umbrella or two. Passerby, such as yourself, park along the shoulder of the PCH to catch some sun, wind, and wave. Gnarly strands of kelp from the sea in snarl mats of broken reed from the lagoons and litter the high tide line of last evening. Thank you.
So Jackie,
I think we filled the hour.
we
We did. We filled the
we
hour.
did.
Yeah.
You did
Well,
a
Bernie,
great job.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
so we have Bernie McGurl. You never know where you're going to get with Bernie McGurl, but always know it's going to be far out.
Yeah, yeah. Good time, good time.
So
Yeah.
I want to thank you. Thank everybody. Thank you, everyone
Yeah,
who
thank
has
you to these
tuned
poets
in.
that
Thank you,
came
the
and
poets
read.
that shared your beautiful work with us. Joe Hazuri is in the house, and he came to watch and cheer everybody on. So next time, we hope to hear from you.
He reads with us sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes he does.
yeah.
We have a very diverse group. Usually we have
Yeah.
anywhere from 10 to 20 people. Sometimes it gets, at the
Right.
bog we get a lot. So
So we can't have
Yeah.
y'all back when we open up
Well,
the room again
yeah,
to the public.
Yeah, we'll be glad to come back again.
So
Yeah,
down
it's
here in the
definitely-
Raymond Hood Room at the Scranton Cultural Center, we're going to let Jackie finish out the night with. Do you have another poem for
No,
us?
you want me to? I'll end up with Joyride.
There you
That's
go, Joyride.
That's the poem. I guess we always do. It's called Joyride. Don't forget to get our book on Amazon, Poets Live, and poets from around the world. It's a very diverse group of poets, and it was an honor to edit that and put it together and put it out there for everybody. This is called Joyride. Hey there, honey. What's happening? You're kind of cute. What's your name? What's your sign? How about mine? And as I'm looking in his eyes, I could tell he's feeding me lines. But he kept carrying on, and I kept going along for the ride. Joy, ride. I'm tired of dating these fools in the search for love. They don't give a stuff what I'm thinking of. And as I'm looking in their eyes, I know they're feeding me lines. But they keep carrying on, and I keep going along for the ride. joy, ride. I was just chilling on the couch one day, high as can be. Then he came along, and he turned my frown upside down, and I knew when he was looking in my eyes, he was feeding me lines. But he kept carrying on, and I kept going along for the ride, joy, ride. All right, thank you to the Scranton Cultural Center. Thank you for the poets. Thanks for streaming in. Thanks to Maria. Thank you guys so much. There we go.